Craig Pasta Jardula here at the Justice for Johnny March here in North Hollywood Park. Not Congressman, City Councilman, Assemblyman, how do we say it? It's the proper way to say it because we didn't get taught that in school.
I'm the president of the City Council.
President of the City Council, Paul Krekorian is here. I once met you once before at I can't remember what event, but it's great to see you again, sir. Thank you so much for your speech. I just want you to give us a little insight to what you were trying to convey to the audience out there and how we fix this problem, because I think a lot of people here today, they want justice for Johnny, but they don't understand what justice exactly looks like. What does it look like in your eyes?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. First, a lot of people are here because they knew and loved Johnny, and they want to make sure that in this case, his murderer gets caught and punished. So that's the first thing. But I think even people who didn't know Johnny saw that he was murdered in the process of trying to stop a crime from happening. And a lot of the people here didn't know Johnny, but they were inspired by that act. They were inspired by the fact that he said, no, it's not okay to steal, and he stood up to it. And I think a lot of us feel like we all need to stand up to it, and we all need to be more vocal and be more assertive about demanding that our government at every level ensures that people are held accountable when they commit crimes.
It's very interesting because some people feel like it's California. We have a leftist kind of view of what's going on. I think a lot of people who push back against the system think that it's a one-sided system where the wealthy can get more representation and more justice in court than the poor people do. But a lot of other people don't understand that. We don't want crime too as well. We don't understand. We don't like this. I mean, he got killed for telling somebody to stop stealing a catalytic converter. I mean, what does that say about the mentality of people who are willing to kill somebody over a catalytic converter?
Absolutely, and that's the thing. You're right. This is not a political issue, or it shouldn't be. Too often, everything in our society now seems to get polarized. But in this case, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or non-aligned or a member of another party, I think universally people, by a wide majority, feel that we should live in a society where crime is punished, and that we don't accept theft as just being, an everyday thing that we all have to tolerate. It's not. Yeah. Vandalism, theft, and then, of course, all these things that we've gotten to the point where we just seem to accept because there's nothing we can do about it. We can never accept that as being the new normal. And when it comes to violent crime, like what happened to Johnny, then there should be complete unanimity in our society that there has to be justice when there's violent crime. All right.
Are we still in the shot? I got one last question for you. Are we still in the shot on my camera? Because I know my camera fell. We look good? Okay. So, Mr. Krekorian, we talked about this. We shouldn't accept crime. You've been in L.A. for a while. You're here. What is the systemic cause of crime right now in L.A.? And we heard the ex-president in the debate the other day saying blue states this. They like to say blue state crimes, but everywhere around the world, everybody's poor. They're desperate. We just talked about a guy getting shot over a catalytic converter. The homegrown industry of the movie-making business, Johnny Wagner was on 160-something episodes of General Hospital. Back in the days, you wouldn't need a side bartending job to do so. Now you do. So what, in your thought process, is the systemic cause of crime, and specifically here in L.A.?
Oh, I don't know that there's any single answer to that. Different people commit different crimes for different reasons, I imagine. But it doesn't really matter what the reasons are that led to that. As a society, we still have to hold people accountable for the choices that they make and the actions that they take. I think one very significant systemic problem that we have here in the United States is the ready availability of guns. And in this case, you have a petty criminal on the streets stealing catalytic converters, packing a gun, and was able to murder somebody. That doesn't happen in most other developed countries because they don't have hundreds of millions of guns in the society.
So you don't see a line with the economic problem, though, to this exact problem? Because we are saying this guy was so desperate that he was willing to kill somebody over an item that was less than $500. You don't see the kind of connection there?
There is certainly connections with poverty and crime, but I do not accept that a crime like this is just a crime of necessity because somebody was poor. There are most of the people in our society who struggle economically do not go out and commit crimes. They work harder. They, participate. They try to do other things, but they don't commit crimes. So it is not acceptable to me to have our society say, well, crime is understandable and acceptable because people are poor.
Yeah.
People are poor in a lot of places, and most of them are law-abiding people who contribute to our society and don't detract from our society.
You got to run. You don't want to tell how you're going to fix the problem, though? Maybe one of your suggestions?
Sorry, I really got to go.
All right.